Demon, I command you to leave this vessel.
I'll suck your I'll suck your
I'm gonna need everybody to clear the room. The Pope's Exorcist was directed by Julius Avery and stars Russell Crowe as Father Gabriel Amorth, chief exorcist of the Vatican. He then has an investigation of a young boy's terrifying possession, and ends up uncovering a centuries-old conspiracy the Vatican has desperately tried to keep hidden. So originally, I had no intentions of reviewing The Pope's Exorcist, but a friend of mine requested I review it a while back, but I never knew exactly where to place this review. But I guess after reviewing a film like House of the Dead, anything could follow that up, right? But when it comes to supernatural, possession, exorcist types of films, I like the ones that mostly focus on character and overall realism and atmosphere from the filmmaking, which is very few, like The Exorcist, of course, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, or even most recently, Late Night with the Devil, which is actually a pretty good film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Also, more like films like The Last Exorcism, Deliver Us from Evil, which I feel like is a little underappreciated, and The Taking of Deborah Logan. Films I don't enjoy as much as those other films, but I think are really underrated. And I think that's where The Pope's Exorcist falls under, is that underrated realm. I really only seen this film 3 times. Once in the theaters, once at my brother's place, and prior to this review. And my thoughts were the same for each viewing. 3 things that stood out. Russell Crowe's acting and his performance here as his character, the focus of suspense instead of false and dumb jump scares, and the lore with the Spanish Inquisition. It plays out like your standard possession chiller in the opening scene, but it eventually feels more like a mix of a bunch of genres, including supernatural thriller, mystery with elements of suspense. Story-wise, the picture adds nothing new to the billions of other exorcism movies, and that's probably what will make some people check out of this film pretty quick. But there is some really good atmosphere and visuals, especially in a scene involving a bed and most of the third act. The film's decision to adapt a campy tone combined with certain camera work kind of reminded me of some of Sam Raimi's work, a director I'm a big fan of. The supporting cast does a really good job here, but I think a big part that carries this film for me personally is Russell Crowe's performance as Father Gabriel Amorth. I don't think the film would work without him. He gives one of his best comedic performances to date as a wisecracking, quippy, and cool priest who is likely the reason everyone was interested in this film to begin with. His character is actually based off of a real priest, who has a film based off of him directed by William Friedkin, who also directed The Exorcist. And Russell Crowe is fun as this priest who curses and carries whiskey underneath his robe, and tells a lot of jokes, because the devil doesn't like jokes. But when shit goes down, you could tell his demeanor shifts tremendously, and although it feels like we've seen this story a million times, the way Julius Avery directs it is pretty much on the nose with the camera work and the movie's pacing. His banter with the possessed kids and his clapbacks were often hysterical. The setting as well was also pretty creepy. I love the look of this huge mansion with tunnels underneath it. It slowly functions largely as a dark horror comedy, but executes it well, finding the mix between the two tones. With some simple yet cool makeup effects, there's a really effective scene about truth and faith that involves Father Gabriel and the possessed boy named Henry when he has a conversation with him in his bedroom. And the makeup on this little kid looks incredible. And also the voice actor for that kid, for his possessed voice, creepy as shit.
Did you allow that? This is just the beginning.
The film does a good job behind the mythology of good and evil, the Christian God and Satan. It's fascinating how effective it is on believers, and it translates well to horror movies, whether it's serious or comical like in here. Russell Crowe uses the same voice as he does in Love and Thunder as Zeus. I was just waiting for him to say, "Chill, baby cake." But as I was mentioning with that scene with the possessed boy, when the demon says his name, Gabriel, the priest realizes he's dealing with a far bigger threat than he imagined. There was lore at the beginning of the film that they set up but never really expanded on, that had to deal with the Spanish Inquisition, that really gave me some Da Vinci Code vibes. Although there is some creepy visuals here that have to deal with like crawling and contorted like body parts and twisting and stuff like that, I never really found the film itself that scary. But I was hooked enough throughout the film that I kind of overlooked the typical exorcist tropes, and there is some here for sure, but they don't negatively impact the overall execution of the movie for me. I thought the concept was okay, but when you have an actor like Russell Crowe giving a fun and entertaining performance like he does in here, it makes it a solid film. and makes it definitely a standout from previous Exorcist films in the past few years. And I think this film will have a bigger following in the future, probably, hopefully. Who knows? Anything could happen. Anyways, thank you guys so much as always for watching. I look forward to bringing y'all more videos pretty soon. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below what movies y'all want me to check out here on the channel next. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.